Welcome to another good episode of Two Smooth Operators, the only podcast about gate operator life
Is it really the only
for
podcast? though?
technicians. Your hosts, Michael Brooks and Robert Evers. Stay tuned for another great episode.
These two dudes. Another great episode.
Oh, yeah. Stay tuned for another great episode of Two Smooth Operators.
All right, then. Copy link. That's what I was looking for. All right, man. Well, I got one. I know I'm one smooth operator. Is the second one here? There you go.
I'm the smooth operator, man.
That's what they were trying to do at the fence retreat. Well, who was it? Dan Wheeler said you was trying to make it one smooth operator.
Yeah, one smooth operator, man.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
Well,
go
you can't.
for it, man.
I don't want to know. I can't do it by myself. I don't want to do it by myself.
I don't want to do it by myself either, man.
I'm lonely.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. This is I was joking around with Craig at the from the Fence Industry Podcast, Fence Podcast, or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like,
Craigie
man,
Banks.
Yeah, there you go. I was like, man, are you making millions over at your podcast too? It was just like, yeah, I don't think so, man. It's a whole different world out there, man. Well,
yeah,
anyways,
I'm making like it's just raining down on us. So,
oh, is it?
Yeah, it's going to be raining tomorrow in the Carolinas.
Well, the weather has been nothing but perfect here in Las Vegas. So
yeah,
it's been nice to be able to work outside in some good weather. Well, what you got going on gate operator wise this week?
Well, tomorrow I get to start my mini storage job. Set the string line and mark it off, and got to go take a temporary fence down at another mini storage. So we got a few things going on tomorrow, and I got to lay out for the gate operator and the gate post and stuff. You know,
do you rent temporary fence to your customer?
No. Well, I don't. You call it rent. I don't know what you call it. I sell it to them, and then I come take it back up.
There you go.
That's what I do.
How's that business go? Was that good?
It's just a few jobs here and there for that. And I don't really do a lot of temporary fence.
Man, we were talking earlier before we went on the fence cruise. You said you had a customer that was going to put in a wooden hinge post for you.
Yeah.
So when you got back, it would be ready to go. And then you and I were talking earlier this week. We were just catching up, and you said that how is that going for you? How is the wooden post working out?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I got done with the job. Everything's working fine. Even got a video of it working great. And then we had a drop cord wired into the electrical because he's going to have a electrician come and put a line in. Well, he comes, puts the line in. Instead of going in the hole that's already drilled, I already had the drop cord in the hole. He drills another hole on the opposite side of the power, the 120 hookup. Yep. And then I noticed, well, first I tried to adjust the gate back and I couldn't, and I was assuming it was the wood post, but I don't think it's the wood post now. But I looked closely where he drilled a hole. You can see where a drill bit hit the board. And I'm like, oh, this thing ain't gonna never work. And now my customer's like, well, can you get me a free board? I'm like, I don't do that. I can't do that. I'm not gonna lie to the manufacturer. I do not do that.
And it's so much easier
if I send the board back, they're gonna know.
It's so much easier to tell them the truth because you will find a lot of these manufacturers, Liftmaster and all the kind. I mean, they seem to help us out on a regular basis. Yeah. And same thing with the distributors.
And then on top of that, why they were hooking the power up or something, I don't know because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
The batteries go dead. The backup batteries go dead. And so your operator's acting funny. It's never going to work because the batteries are dead. And he wanted to blame, said the batteries were dead when they came out the box. I'm like, no, they weren't because that's how I was operating it before I hooked the power up. And I says, you turned the power off and forgot to turn it back on. You drain the batteries down. That's the only way they go dead when they're new like that. I put new batteries in it, and then after that, it still didn't work. So he's gonna have to get a new board most likely.
Yeah, I learned my lesson on, what was it? I don't think it was LA 500, but whatever it was, I learned my lesson a long time ago, about drilling into the box with the control board.
Yeah.
So with the LA 500, the manufacturer would always get an argument with me. I'm like, well, this is how come it takes me so long to install it? I have to do X, I have to do this, I have to take all those plugs off the board, take the board off, put it in an anti-static bag, put it in the front of my truck, and then do the reverse when I'm ready to put it in. And the exact reason for that is because one of the first ones I drilled straight up with that board in there, and it nicked the board. The board worked perfectly fine because for whatever reason on this, not whatever reason, but on this board, the solder rail or the rail for the ground was what it actually drilled into. It got a pretty good nick, but I easily could have knocked some of that conformal coating off and soldered a fat wire across that and called it a day. But I didn't. I just got them a new board, and that was it. I mean, but it was a $500 mistake. On top of that, it set me back a day, which sometimes can affect how I get paid if the last day for invoicing is Thursday with whatever company I'm working for or for an individual customer. And it can ruin some weekend spending money, that's for sure.
And, things are going to happen. And I also knew when I do my low-end residential package that I was probably going to get some kickbacks. So we already were prepared for it anyway. So we already know that's something liable to happen. But what happened to this is, it's whoever was out there working on it messed up. So that's what happens. But that's part of the name of the game. You play in the game of money and trying to make money the best way you can. Yep. But anyways, have you ever put a gate operator on a pedestrian gate before?
Well, I have.
You have? Oh, I have. Tell me about it.
I put an X9. I think it's the X9. Which one's the column mount for Viking?
X9.
So I put a column mount for a Viking at a church, and then did a double photo eye for it. So I did one at about 7 inches off the ground, and then I did one at just about 24 inches off the ground, and then cranked the sensitivity all the way down. I did not put an edge on it. This is actually back when photo eyes didn't even require. Weren't even well, I think they might have been required in 2000, but when the boards, if I remember correctly, they were required in 2000, but when the boards themselves would work actually without the photo eye. So I put a couple photo eyes on there and let it run.
How'd that work for you?
Turn the sensitivity. I'm still waiting for somebody to call and say, hey, you need to come to take this out because it's not supposed to have a gate operator.
Well, let me tell you something. There's another way you could have done that. You know
somebody by chance?
I do know somebody. As a matter of fact, he's in my home state.
Oh, North Carolina? Well, man.
North Carolina.
Man, he can't be that good of a guy if he's from North Carolina, man.
Oh yeah. He's from Lock and Knox.
Lock and Knox. Correctly. Yeah, I know it's the hardest name to pronounce in the business, right? Other than Torkson. Torkson, yeah, that's a tough one. So, hey Jim, how you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on tonight, guys.
Sure.
Oh, you're welcome.
I've noticed that you've been making the rounds with your pedestrian gate opener.
Yes.
And I think there's a lot of confusion out there about what pedestrian gates can have, don't have to have, and all that stuff. They have to be UL, blah, blah, blah. So we thought it'd be a good idea to have you on. So maybe you could help us with some of the myths and also tell us about what's going on with the new opener. Is the new opener called a Venus?
It's called Venus. Yep.
Venus. All right. So tell us a little bit about the opener and who can install it and what certifications do we need to have to install it and what laws and rules do we got to follow?
Well, that's the beauty of it is you don't need any certifications for it. You can mount it on columns, you can mount it on walls, you can mount it on posts. You can do any of those things. All it requires is that you get 110 volts to it, or 220 if you're in Europe, but 110 volts to it, and from there, it does the rest of it. That's one of the things we really want to impress upon people is, especially, we love gate operator guys, but you don't have to be a certified gate operator installer to put this thing in. UL325 is a big sticking point for a lot of people. Doesn't apply to pedestrian gates, just to vehicular gates, and so it's not an issue here. There's no external safeties required, no photo eyes, no edges, anything like that. The DC brushless motor has the safeties built into it, so if it encounters an obstruction, it turns around and goes the other direction, be it opening or closing. And so, yeah, really fantastic product. It's sleek, it's easy to install, it's sexy, it's inexpensive, and I think it's going to solve a lot of problems for handicap gates.
Yes,
you can even put it on doors, for Pete's sake. But it's made for outdoors. You don't have to have a transom on the gate.
What's a transom?
A transom would be a cross piece above the gate, and a lot of operators, for especially ADA operators, require that's where they mount. And
I've seen that at the show.
For Venus, because it's a post or a wall mount, you mount it to the side, so it looks a lot like one of our hydraulic gate closers, but it's electric. It opens and closes the gate.
Gotcha. So I guess I would call that a header, I guess. Some sort, but I got you. So it's mounted to hinge post. Now, how far away from the gate can you actually get? Can you put it on a column next to the hinge post? What distances are we talking about?
It needs to be adjacent to the gate. So I would say if it needs to be on the hinge post if possible. Sometimes if the hinge is attached to a wall, we do give you that capability to put it, to attach the device to the wall as well. But yeah, it doesn't have a really long arm on it in order to attach it to something that's adjacent or fairly close by. It needs to be right next to the gate post.
Robert, you ever put one of these things in?
No, I haven't, but I've seen where I could have. That's what when Jim got up with me, I was talking about, man, well, I know a few people that, matter of fact, I bidded on a job where the guy he was in a wheelchair and he needed to access the gate because his health was declining, and this would have been perfect for him. But he didn't give us the job, or I don't think he did anything. So I don't know. I probably need to reach out to him and then show him this operator here. But yeah, that's where I see it working in the market for me, where I'm at, maybe for handicapped people or rest homes or even
That's
schools.
You can use use Venus in conjunction with any type of maglock system, an electric strike. But it's compatible with just about any other accessibility or operator system that's out there. So you can put it on a keypad, a proximity reader, a handicap push button, card reader, what have you. You can also operate it on what we call push and go. So if you just turn the handle and you start the gate moving, the motor will take over and open the gate. It'll stay open for as long as you want it open, as long as you program it to stay open, and then it'll close the gate. The installation is really, really cool. It's installed with an app. So once you get it attached to the gate and get power to it, and it also has, you get 110 in, it also has 3 24-volt inputs and outputs on board. So if you need to power a mag lock or electric strike or a light or
Okay.
something like that, you don't have to run an additional power source.
Well,
You've already
right
had it right
there
there.
is a big plus because when you're working on gate operators, sometimes you got to supply the power for the mag lock,
Yeah.
but it's
So
already built in on
yeah,
the Venus,
exactly.
so that
So getting
saves you
back
some
to the
time.
app, so the app, what it does is you open up your app on your phone, and it connects wirelessly to the Venus that you're working on, and it'll ask you a series of questions. It says how wide is the gate, how much does the gate, and it'll handle gates up to 4.5 feet wide, and gates up to 220 pounds. So pedestrian gates. But it'll
Right.
ask you a series of questions. It'll say, open the gate to the full open position and tell it yes, and that sets it as a limit. And then
Oh,
it'll tell
wow.
you close the gate to its full closed position, and then you hit yes, and that sets a limit for closed. And
Okay.
then it will run through a few test cycles. And if you're happy with that, it's done. You put the cover back on it, it shuts off the Wi-Fi radio, so the device is secure, nobody can tamper with it, and you walk away. The sensitivity of the obstruction sensors is kind of on it's infinite, so it's on a sliding scale. So if you have to overcome like wind load or something like that, you can make it a little less sensitive. But if you're worried about hitting somebody's dog or a handicapped person, you can make it more sensitive. And it asks you how long you want it to stay open, how fast you want it to open and close. You set all those things in when you start, and you're done, and you walk away.
Okay.
We've got test units that are closing on a million cycles in our factory in Belgium, and are still running. So it's very durable. We didn't even release it until we had them over 500,000 cycles, and so it's a pretty
So,
fantastic
Yeah.
product.
in regards to what we were just talking about, as far as for handicapped people, I guess I've got some installation questions, but one of my concerns there would be, well, what happens when this thing fails? So, if I'm a handicapped person,
Mhm.
this thing fails. Am I going to be pulling now again the weight of the gate and against the motor, and all of that? What happens when obviously there's mechanical issues that can't predict, but let's just say we lose power. Is there a battery backup in there? And if we lose power, what are we doing?
Yeah, there is no battery backup, but
Okay.
if you lose power, it just freewheels. So it kind of fails
Oh.
open, you might say.
Okay.
So at that point, you can just open the gate, close the gate. You will feel a little bit of resistance from the motor because it's a DC motor, and but it's not much. It will still be able to open and close within ADA guidelines, even if the power's off.
Oh, okay. So there's some
Yeah.
kind of weight measurement that somebody has said is this is still okay for the majority of less able people that are out there. So did we talk about whether it can be installed with pools or not? Because do you guys have any experience with that where it's actually installed at a pool?
We've got a few, especially down in Florida. There's some
Uh-huh.
Disney properties and some multifamily properties where you want to have limited access or controlled access to to a pool area or a playground or a dog park.
Okay.
And so, yeah, you can definitely use it in that sense, especially around pools. The biggest thing is not so much a gate opening, but a gate closing. The gate has got to close. And so, our mainstay of our business is hydraulic gate closers. And that's one of the things we can say is if you put our closer on a gate, it will close, and it will close all the way. And so, yeah, we've got a bit of experience so far with putting on some pool gates and things like that.
So I guess the first thing that I'm thinking of with the pool gate is the fact that, well, I guess technically not. I guess I'm just thinking about the access to people that are kids, that shouldn't necessarily be going in there as well. We've got to worry about where our push button height is. Is there an issue there? And then when you were just talking about a closer, if this thing fails, is there force that actually, if it fails open, is there a force that pushes it back, or are you recommending putting a closer on there as well too?
It really can't operate with any additional closers. So if you put it in combination with, say, a hydraulic gate closer, like one of our Mammoths or Panthers or something like that, it would kind of fight against itself. So it's really not recommended. So mainly just barrel hinges, any type of regular hinge, and we've got a number of hinges that'll work with this, but just a free swinging hinge.
Okay.
As far as keeping the gate closed, a lot of that job is going to be the responsibility of the other side of the gate, and that's on the lock.
Okay.
Yeah, like your mag lock.
Mag lock.
Now, what about
if
you had a mechanical lock?
Yeah, you
that
can
was
even
electronic.
Do it. Yeah, you can pair it with that as well.
Okay. So I'm curious, by the way, if you guys out there are watching, I just put a link in the chats on the Gate Operator World, as well as Two Smooth Operators Facebook and LinkedIn page. Oscar had a quick question. Can this be installed on all gates? And I know that's kind of a loaded
Oscar's
thing. We don't know.
One of my guys.
Oh, is he? So
well, he's the guy in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that's a big loaded question, and I don't mean that the bad way, Oscar. I mean, it's all gates is really encompassing. I would say most gates. I mean, if it's a gate that swings freely, that has an adequate place to mount this on the post and on the gate, mount the arm onto the gate, it can absolutely be used. I can't think of a whole lot of situations you couldn't, but I would really hesitate to say all gates.
Yeah, like you're saying, pedestrian gates, 4 feet. What about 6 foot wide gate? You think he can handle something like that, or is that too much?
So 4.5 feet is the max that we.
The max,
okay. And a lot of that has to do with just we're very conservative when we come to the performance parameters of our products. If we say something will hold a gate, 440 pounds, it'll probably do more. We don't want you putting it on something bigger and heavier because
well, you ain't going to be. Most likely, that's not going to be the scenario.
Yeah. So if you want to put it on a gate that's more than 4.5 feet wide, you didn't hear it from me.
Well, I'm gonna try it. So I'm the guy that pushes the limits.
I think Jim's just being a sales rep is what he is.
Yeah.
Don't blame me.
Hey, don't blame me. I told you 4.5 feet.
And so you send us some videos and stuff. So let's take a look at it.
All right, let's see what this video is right here.
So this is a video. This is actually shot over in France, because we're a big deal in Europe, and we're becoming a big deal here in the United States. But so this is with our articulated arm, and so I think Oscar, this might answer your question. And then going back to our earlier question, Michael, about what we can mount this on. This is mounted on the post. That articulated arm helps you if you have an offset post. You can even mount this on the inside of the gate using that articulated arm. There's 3 different arms that are available. They're all the same cost. You just select your arm and you color it black and silver. And it's a different arm for each different installation scenario. So this one's just on a push button or a card reader or something. And then as soon as it's set on fully automatic. So what happens is when you wire the lock side of this into the Venus, and it all detects that and programs itself when you do the setup. So if you want to start that, we'll watch it go through and operate here.
Sure. And Cody, we got your question. I'll pop it up to Jim here in just a second. Okay.
That's a pretty good gate right there.
And that's nice. And it's got a light blinking at the bottom. So
yeah, I wanted to point that out. So that light flashes when it's in motion. It's just another safety feature, just so that everybody knows. It doesn't make any noise, but it does flash that light, so you can see that it's in motion. Been asked a couple of times, can you disable the light? You can, and we can show you how. But I don't know why you'd want to. You want as much safety built in there as you can.
People will ask a lot of questions about anything like that, like That's just the name of the game.
That brings up actually a good question. So you said that so the only incoming power for the U.S. is set up for 120 volts. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So and then there's no solar application for it, correct?
No. I mean, I guess conceivably you could.
Anything could be made solar, right?
If you can take that 12 or 24 volts and turn it into 110, 120, you can do that.
Yeah.
For this device is designed for continuous duty. So, obviously if you're on a solar system, continuous duty is going to ask a lot of that. So if it's going to operate a whole lot, if it's only going to operate a few times a day, it'd probably work out just fine.
Well, yeah, so I guess kind of answering my own question, anything can be made solar, but that's not what we're talking about, because at the end of the day, unless you're an expert in the solar, you don't need to be going outside the specifications of the manufacturer. So the first thing that I thought of when I saw that light on there was, okay, that and you had mentioned earlier that you have 3 24-volt DC outputs. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So now, what logic are those outputs tied into? So if I hit the open button or give it an access control panel command to open up the gate, are those outputs tied into the relay?
They are. They are.
Okay.
And when you set it up on the app's really pretty spectacular, because when you open up the app, and I wish we had a better way. We're working on a way where I could like share a screen and go walk through the app, and we'll do that at some point when we have it.
Okay.
But the first thing it asks is, do you want this to operate manually in a push and go situation, or do you want it to operate fully automatic? And it shows you a little cartoon of what that means. And then you say, okay, I want it fully automatic. The next screen tells you exactly how to wire the keypad, the maglock, or whatever devices you're going to use in conjunction with the Venus. It tells you exactly where to hook those wires into.
Gotcha. Okay, so all 3 of the outputs can be controlled. Okay. Now, do you have a constant? Can they be set up for constant voltage as well too?
They can. Yep, you can use them for constant or for on demand.
And is there an audible noise that you have built in to when the gate is actually opening and closing?
No, it doesn't make any. I mean, you can hear the motor run. It's really, really quiet, but yeah, only the light is the only indication that it's operating.
Okay, so for Herring and Pier, the reason why I was thinking about that is, although this is going to be very rare in most people's situations, but because of the implications with people who are less abled and the functionality that gives to these people, especially in communities in Florida where the age population is higher and higher than in most states, that assistance that it'll give you would also be nice to have a noise going off as well too. So for anybody that had that question or concern, you could just tie something into the relay that's on there and just call it a day. Yeah, so there is the third party option. Yeah, this looks like a heavy duty gate. Anthony, I see your question. We'll get you on here in just a second, and it'd be cool if you or Cody could jump on the screen with us and ask your question. Let's watch the rest of this video.
So it stays open for as long as you've programmed it to on the app.
Okay.
And then let's say you want it to stay open for 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 90 seconds, whatever. It stays open to that time, and then it turns around and it closes itself.
Okay. All right, let's watch it. So now it's been in the fully open position for a minute. The light kicked on, showing that it's actually moving. That looks like a pretty heavy gate.
It must be. I don't know. I've not seen that gate personally. I think it's in France.
Yeah, that's a heavy gate. I can hear.
That's a big, heavy gate.
Does that sound like it's got a maglock on it, Robert?
Yeah, that's a maglock. Boom. You always want. That's a good sound to hear. And when your customer don't hear that sound, they know my gate didn't lock back.
That's one of our Mag 6000. That's a Hall lock.
Yeah. Gotcha. Let's see what else we got.
So that demonstrates the freewheeling nature of the motor. You can't really hurt that motor. If somebody hangs on it, plays with it, pushes it, pulls it, or whatever, it's not going to impede the operation. It's not going to damage it.
Cool. That's neat.
Yeah, that actually is pretty cool, because that's probably one of your first thoughts when you actually see somebody push it really hard like that. Cody had a question. I've always thought automatic swing gates never for pedestrian gates. So
and I'm glad Cody asked that, because that probably is the biggest pushback we're getting, is that's a mindset here, especially in the U.S. or the North American market. And I don't know where it started. I don't know when it started. But everywhere we go, people are saying, as you know, you can't put a motor on a pedestrian gate. I'm like, well, no, I didn't know that. And how do you know that? So, but I'd really be curious to chat with some people who have that belief. And I'm not belittling that belief. It's what they've been taught. That's fine. But a lot of people, it always comes back to UL325. And UL325 doesn't apply to pedestrian gates. And that's not ducking safety. It only applies to automotive gates. And besides that, we designed this product to be UL325 compliant regardless, because we knew we'd get that pushback. And I think that kind of feeds that next question there from Anthony, if you wanted to pop into that, Michael.
Yeah. So what are recommended safety devices?
Yeah. So that's, we see that a lot when we put this product on social media. The first comments we get are, where's the photo eye? Where's the edge? Where are the safety devices? There are none. They're not needed because this motor, all that stuff is built into the motor. So if it detects any obstruction whatsoever, it will reverse itself, and it'll reverse itself 3 times. So let's say it's opening and it bumps into a stroller or a wheelchair. It will go back to the closed position and then try to open again. And if it encounters that 3 times, it will just automatically return back to the closed position. Conversely, if it's trying to close and it encounters that obstruction, it will go back to the fully open position. Now, once it goes after 3 cycles and it stays in that position, all you got to do is give it a touch, and it will take over and close or open or go back to the original position it needs to.
Oh, that's neat.
Is there a way to override that at the very least, if it is like a pool gate or something like that, to where, it's been open for 20 minutes, go ahead and close, or once it's been, okay.
Well, like you just saw, that was Frank, our sales manager from France, pushing and pulling. But yeah, if it stays open for whatever reason, all you got to do is you can push it and it'll take over and close itself, or you can just push it all the way closed if you like. You're not going to damage it.
Okay, gotcha. But you've got to be, after it's done the 3 obstructions, you've got to be the one that tells it, hey, close.
Yeah.
So now, with that in mind, that means that it's got some kind of embedded device in there that allows it to connect to Wi-Fi. So, if I'm correct, so does that mean that I can connect from the outside world to it, meaning actually use it? Like if somebody's at the back gate and I'm in 2 states away, I could go open?
No.
Okay.
And I think in time, because there are some really neat products out there, like, Butterfly MX and so on, that have, Bluetooth enabled, operator controls and things like that. That will be a function that's possible.
Okay.
In the meantime, there is a bit of confusion when we start talking about Wi-Fi and Venus. Mm-hmm. So Venus is set up. Does anybody have a quadcopter or a drone?
I got a drone.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you put your phone on that remote and you're flying it, it's connected to that device, to that drone, by Wi-Fi. Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Because Bluetooth is great for very short distances and for not a lot of data. All right.
Yeah.
So when you slide the cover off the Venus, all right, so when you do your install, you slide the cover off and you hook all your wires up and everything, and then you connect to it by Wi-Fi with your phone. The reason we use Wi-Fi is because there's firmware that's going to be immediately updated. So if you install a new one, it's going to check if there's new firmware. If there is, it's going to download it. And so to download that amount of data, it takes a Wi-Fi signal and not a Bluetooth signal. Mm-hmm. And not just that, the Wi-Fi signal is more stable to get through the installation process. And so once you are done with your install and you slide that cover back onto the Venus and you lock it, that shuts off the Wi-Fi radio. So when we talk about Wi-Fi, a lot of people are thinking, this needs to be connected to a Wi-Fi local network or something. That's not the case. It's just simply Wi-Fi to connect that device to your phone while you're setting up or adjusting it, and then it shuts off.
Okay, gotcha. Well, it would be a pretty cool function to be able to give it, if I obviously if it wasn't at a pool gate, if it was strictly access control to an asset or a property that didn't have a pool or anything like that behind it, it actually would be pretty neat to do that. But I think it's fair to say, fair to say that if somebody wanted to implement another Wi-Fi controller in there, they could. To trigger the gate open, and it would be as safe as somebody was manually operating it right there, especially if it can be done by a third-party access control panel. Did you want to take a look at this other video that we had that you had sent us?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, cool. Let's do that, and let's see what this. I don't know if this has any audio, but let's go ahead.
I don't think it does. This is just so this just shows some of the ARM configurations as well as just what we mean by different. Okay, so this would be a push and go.
All right. So basically what that means is we're initiating the motorization part of it, if you will, by giving it a physical touch.
Correct.
Gotcha. And it's just looking for it to move a little bit.
This is that motion, and then it takes over.
So if this were connected to a mag lock or a door strike, it would sense that somebody's trying to move it, disengage that relay or engage it, depending upon how it's set up, and release that device. Is that correct?
So what happens there is that's where you use your 24 volt inputs. So you connect your, let's say when you trigger that mag lock to de-energize, that would also simultaneously send a signal to the Venus to open.
Yeah. Just like normal operations then.
Yeah.
So
gotcha.
But if you had a keypad up there, you can hit the keypad and it releases the lock then.
Correct. So there's the obstacle detection.
So something was in the way. This little dude was in the way, and it hit it.
Yeah, and it doesn't take, again, so when it comes to the obstacle detection, that is it's kind of an infinite scale. It's a sliding scale that you do on the app when you set it up. And it can be extremely sensitive to where just the slightest touch will cause it to reverse. Or if you wanted it a little less sensitive, again, as we mentioned earlier, because of wind load, things like that, you can do that. So, but you can set that pretty much infinitely on how. And
what's that called on the gate where the arm goes into? It looks like a track or something. Is there a special name for that or anything?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, it's just the track. I don't know.
It's a track. Well, yeah.
Is that just a sleeve that it receives that device?
So the arm comes out of where you got your pointer right there, Michael. The arm comes out and it slides within that rail.
Okay.
Track. Yeah.
Gotcha. So there's nothing happening in here but mechanical.
Correct. There's just a slide and a cam up inside of there.
It doesn't take any kind of lubrication or anything?
No, it doesn't. It's a nylon bushing in there that it'll last forever.
Yeah, that's actually a good question as far as the maintenance goes on here. But in this picture, it kind of shows these what appear to be like wedge anchors or something coming out of the back. What's the deal with installing these? So can I weld this thing on, or is it just bolt on, or how does it work?
So we have a system called Quick Fix. It's a patented wedge anchor that we have. You drill a 9/16 hole. There's only 3 of them that connect the Venus to the post, and then there's 2 that connect that rail to the gate. And they're super easy to use. You drill your hole. And all of our products come with a sticker template that you stick on the onto the post, and it shows you exactly where to drill the holes and how big they should be. You drill those holes, you slide those quick fixes on there, and you tighten them about 2 turns with a Allen wrench, and they have about 2,000 pounds of holding force.
Yeah, and you see right there in that video, touching the post like a sensor.
Yeah,
touch.
Yeah. So what's this right here? What are they trying to represent right here? These armature plates or something?
Those are probably representing some mag locks.
Okay, gotcha. Boy, that would be a pain in the ass to have to line up 3 mag locks.
Yeah, I know. One's plenty.
Yeah.
And this would be like a handicap situation where you have just a handicap button.
As easy as installing a gate closer. Hey, well, I'm gonna hold you to that.
All right. I'll come out there and we'll put one in.
Yeah, it'd be cool to have one for the Finch University. We could teach people how to install these.
Yeah.
So, hey, what's up? What's up, Evan?
Maintenance. There really is no maintenance. There's you install this thing, it runs until it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Evan just popped on and said, "What's up?"
Hey, Evan.
What's going on, man? So just a real quick point, and by the way, this is not ADA class or anything like that. So you guys take it for what it is. But I just quickly looked up ADA openings, and it looks like the largest one that I could find is like 36 inches, and that's just off the internet. It's not on any. I just picked it up real quick. So when you're talking about a 4.5 foot gate for ADA openings, that should be sufficient enough for most of you guys to do it. And if it operates on that gate, what's the weight rating again, or is there a weight rating?
Yeah, up to 220 pounds.
Okay, up to 220 pounds. Yeah. I think I don't know about you, Robert. I'm gonna say that last gate prior to the diagram
that was a pulse of a gate.
Was pushing it a little bit.
You can tell that thing was steel.
Well, whenever you put them on good hinges, you gotta. It changes the weight really. Distribution of the weight too.
Ultimately, it's your hinges that determine what's going to happen with that gate, and then the wind load depending upon the circumstances. So Cody had a quick question. So it's not serviceable?
They're really, there's not many replaceable parts on this thing.
Gotcha.
If it breaks, we replace it, and it's we've got a 3-year warranty on it, so there's no issues there. Again, we've got units that are closing in on 1 million cycles, so it's very durable, and it's pretty inexpensive. I mean, the list price on it is like $14.76. So $14.76, and that's so obviously you guys, our dealers, our installers are not going to be paying anywhere near that. So it's not a terribly expensive product when you look in the grand scheme of things as far as gate closers go.
Yeah.
I mean, if an arm breaks, we can replace an arm. That's not a problem. The guts of the thing really is the motor and the electronics. If those go down, we just replace the darn thing.
Yeah. And the more that's being pushed and sold out there, I'm pretty sure what I'm getting at is RMAs or technical support stuff. So is there somebody we can contact while we're installing this?
I'm glad you asked that. So we actually have a fantastic team up in Chicago. Shout out to Marco up there, and Jen and Amber. Those folks are absolutely fantastic. You can call them with any question. I've got to teach a class on this thing next year, and I had a wiring question. I called Marco, and he took his computer over and it set it in front of a display, and he showed it to me. But he does a really fantastic job with the customers, giving them technical advice over the phone. And then, if it comes down to it, one of us sales reps can be on site if you absolutely need it. So we're a small company, and that's what we do. We really work hard to please our customers and to offer that next level service.
Oh, man. Well, we're looking forward to seeing a lot of gate people out there start installing these at different locations and stuff. Maybe in between neighbors' houses, or maybe that somebody has a handicap in a wheelchair or something, nursing homes, or hospitals and stuff like that.
Yeah, nursing homes, hospitals, assisted living places, most commercial places. I don't see much home for this in residential, except maybe extremely high-end residential.
Yeah.
But for commercial,
I might be wanting to drink a beer with my neighbor, and I'm too drunk to open the gate.
That's why you need a hydraulic closer. Just stumble through it, let it close on its own.
I got a quick question. So the push and go is set up to where if it recognizes that the motor's moving, that it goes ahead and turns it into automatic. Is that correct?
Correct.
So that is not operating at the same time as the other one. You either set it for push and go or you set it for automatic. Is that correct?
Yeah, it gives you those two options at the very first page of the app when you go to set it up.
My thought process was, hold on, if it's push and go, that means the site's never secure because anybody can walk up to it, push and go,
well, that's the box job.
or automatic, but it's not. It's either automatic or push and go, correct?
Correct.
I got you. So that seems like it's pretty straightforward. List price doesn't seem all that out of line. If you figure that that's retail plus installation for the customer, and then the more that you do, obviously you can get the customer a better deal if you're going on site to set up 4 or 5 of these. And then tying them into access control doesn't seem that difficult, just a 2-wire connection. So what's the connection on the bottom? Does it have a low voltage knockout and a high voltage knockout? How are you anticipating getting wire from your low voltage into this device?
So the way it's set up, there's a grommet, a rubber grommet that comes out of the back of the device and into the post.
All right.
So and on that drilling template I was telling you about, though, that hole is on there as well. So you would drill your access hole into your post. So in general, you would run you could do it with conduit if you wanted to, but ideally run it up through the post. And then your low voltage, you would come off that back down through your post. You can jump it, underground or what have you, over to the lock side. I leave that to the access control guys because they're the wizards at that type of thing, getting the wires where they need it. But yeah, it shouldn't be any issues there.
Yeah, without a header, just do a saw cut from one side to the other, put your 18-4 direct burial in it. And that'll take care of your request to exit and your mag lock.
That's what I've got for my class next week that I'm teaching up in Canada. I've got some 18-4 that I'm just going to run down, over, and up to the mag lock, and we're doing a key path with that one, and we're doing a push button exit just so it's free exit. You don't have to do anything; you just push the button to open it. So, but this will just be for demonstration and training purposes. So,
So where can they find out about that class and your upcoming classes?
So right now we have the very first gate operator training that we're participating in because our company's been around for a number of years. I didn't mention earlier we're based in Belgium. We mostly do heavy duty hydraulic gate closers and locks as our mainstay of our business. This is our first foray into automation, and so one of the things we're trying to do to offset this belief that's being taught in these classes that you can't use power on a pedestrian gate is getting involved in the classes. And so the first one we're going to be doing is with the Canadian Fence Association out in British Columbia next week. We're trying to work with CFA also to do one in the East, hopefully in the next coming months. We're also working really closely with Controlled Products, Southwest Automated, as well as the American Fence Association to get involved with some of their boot camps, operator training classes. And so stay tuned for those. We don't have any news on them just at the moment, but in the coming weeks and months, we should be available. But in the meantime, if anybody wants a demo on one, just reach out to us at lockandnoxusa.com. Give me a call, shoot me an email, what have you, and I can get you contacted with myself in the Northeast U.S. or Eastern Canada, or one of our other sales reps in the other parts of the country. We'll get you a demo. We'll do whatever we need to do to get you comfortable with this product.
That sounds great because any more information that you get on all the training, and make sure you reach out to us and send it to us because we'll put it out there for you. And so, other than that being said, tell us a little bit about yourself and your life, man.
So my name's Jim Todd. I've been in the fence business for about a little over 12 years, I guess. I started in the agricultural fence business, working for another foreign company out of New Zealand called Stockade, and we made a powered fencing stapler. And so I spent a number of years in the ag fence world. Kind of took a little bit of a break and went into something else for a little while. That didn't work out, and I had this really good opportunity to join with Lock and Ox, whole different thing. I thought there would be more crossover between ag fence and residential and commercial fence, and there was not as much as I thought. But I really enjoy it. I mean, the fence community is really fantastic. I still keep in contact with a lot of the folks. Have a lot of great friends I've made through this business, and a lot of new friends all the time. But yeah, so I live in North Carolina. Again, I cover the Northeast U.S. and spend a lot of time on the road. But kids are getting grown and pushing them out of the house, so I got a little bit more time for those things, and I really enjoy it. I like nothing better than going out on site and installing something and showing you. So, again, don't hesitate to give me a call. Always happy to come out and do those things.
That's awesome.
Where I want to be.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to pull up that that page for the Canadian Fence Association. I just want to make sure that this is the right one.
That's
April 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Yeah, and I think that's closed already as far as for registration. I think they've got it maxed out. But I'm really excited because, see, the Canadian Fence Association really has been struggling for the past number of years. Just as far as membership has dropped, participation in the association has dropped off. And so we've, with the help of some other folks, and I've really tried to step in and help too, to recruit membership. It's growing in numbers. We had a great fence summit out in Banff in the Canadian Rockies back in February, I believe it was. It was colder than hell, but it was a lot of fun. And but yeah, it's so these are going to very closely mirror the gate operator certification classes that the AFA puts on here in the United States.
Okay.
So cool. Well, awesome. That's good, man. Well, look, we appreciate you coming on. I think that gives me another option of some stuff that I could sell to my customers, and also feel like I'm doing the right thing without having to give them a choice between which automatic gate operator for vehicles to do it. Like I said, I've done it once a long time ago, and we've made it safer for pedestrians to use, and it worked out great. But now putting this in, am I correct that it is not have to have any license? I don't have to have any certification to put it in, and we're good to go.
And the neat thing is, I mean, if a sales guy can go out and install one of these things literally in 25 minutes, imagine after you do 2 or 3 of these things, you can just burn them off, and it's money in the bank, and it's a great, it's just a really heavy duty, rugged. Well, I mean, it gets the job done, and I couldn't be prouder of it. I just hope we can do a better job of that messaging and letting everybody know that you can do this safely.
Well, that's the reason why you're coming on this show, to get the message out there. And
I appreciate you guys giving us the
opportunity. You reached out to us, and I was like, we got to get him on the show. He give this product a big shout out for pedestrian gates operators, and let's get some installed out there.
Let's do it. And anybody who installs one, send it to you guys, send it to me, whatever. Send us some video of it. We'd love to see it. Want to hear your feedback, because that's going to be what really sells it ultimately. I can go out there and tell people all about it all day, but when it comes from the community, from the fence community, that's going to speak volumes. So, give it a try, tell your buddies, and it's going to be a fantastic product.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to look. I think my mouse died. I was just getting ready to look. I think on one of the gate operator forums, you have a giveaway. Is that correct?
Yeah. If you go to
is that a private for just that group? I don't want to mention it. I don't want to mention it if no one. Well, I already mentioned it, but I don't want anybody to think that they can get it. It might be limited for certain people.
So, so Gate Operators and Access Controls of America on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, that is one now. That's a private group, so not just anybody can jump on there and do it. But if you join the group, and I think they've got it set up so if you like the post and send your information into the administrators, you get entered into a raffle, and we're going to give one away. I think that goes on for another week or two. But yeah, again, that's Gate Operators and Access Controls of America.
of America. Okay. Yeah. Cause there are some that say USA and all that stuff, but
Yeah.
you guys know that you're at the right one. Gate Operators and Access Control of America, when it says Lock and Knox giveaway in the banner. And if you don't think I'm not going to go on there and try to like the post real quick, you are crazy, because I'd love to see one of these up close, and I'd like to run it through its paces. So, Jim, we can't tell you how much we really appreciate it. I mean, trusting us with this message is just as important as you getting the message out. So we'll keep pushing it and edit these videos and get them out there for you. So maybe we can get some more sales. I'd like to see how they do.
All right, I appreciate it, guys. Hey, this is what makes this industry run. I remember a number of years ago when we said, "Oh, fence guys won't be on social media. Why do we even bother?" And we were wrong. And so a lot of folks, you guys, I could name a whole bunch of others, have done a fantastic job of bringing this community together, making it a community. And that's what it is. And we share our best practices. We share the good things that go right, the things that go wrong, and the industry is better for it. So I appreciate you guys, not just for this opportunity tonight to talk about my product, but also for spreading the community of the fence world out there and just making it better. So thanks so much.
Hey, no problem. All right, we'll talk at you, and we expect you to get some videos out in the field and some more tips and tricks for us, and then jump back on when you got some more videos and pictures for us. We'd like to see them.
We'll do it. And I'll let you know how this training goes up in Canada as well next week.
And turn on your radio to your local beach music channel.
Man, y'all North Carolina people, I'm telling you. I got to tell you, Dallas Cowboys 10 times better than any football team y'all ever have.
Oh, we've been to the Super Bowl in the past 30 years. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but we look good trying. All right, Jim. Thanks so much, man.
Thank you.
Y'all have a great evening. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool dude. I hadn't met him before.
Yeah, man. That was cool, man. Yeah, he messaged us on Facebook. That's so.
Oh, cool.
When I saw that, I was like, man, let me talk to him. But yeah, I think it's a cool product. Matter of fact, I could have used it in pricing and bidding it a couple months ago, but now I will have it as one of my items to bring up if I have an opportunity to put it on the pedestrian gate.
Yeah, I'd like to see how it goes. I mean, it's not something that I did regularly. Like I said, I think I only did it one time, and I made it as safe as can be to do it. And but yeah, it's good to know. And I'll be honest with you, man, price never really scares me off, because you're either qualified to buy it or you're not. I mean, that's it. Yeah. So
it's not a bad price either.
No, you figured. I mean, who knows what their mark is, but I mean, if you figure it's just if it's traditional, just like any other electromechanical device, you're going to be selling it for right about what retail is, plus your labor to install. And if you get
you can buy a electronic jack that jacks your trailer up and down. Some of them things are $900 or more.
Yeah, if you could spend that on your boat, then you could spend this on your pedestrian gate between you and the trash cans. But I just actually was in the group, and I just actually saw, I don't know if they're kicking it back up or not, but Control Products, ProTech Academy for a while. Oh, it actually looks like they're doing these at their different locations. This is kind of interesting. You mind if I share this on the screen here?
No, go ahead.
Check this out. Let's see what that is. Nope, that's not it. There it is. Let's take a look at this real quick. So this was off the Gate Operator Forum, which I know is a private group, and I'm showing it publicly. So kiss my ass. But this is a public event. So anyways, but looking at this is actually pretty interesting. So ProTech Academy is the premier training series tailored for perimeter access control technicians, professional dealers, sales representatives, and installers. Where's the one? See, this is what kills me. This is why I'm not embarrassed to be going to Indiana to train these guys at the end of the month. Shameless plug. Check on Finch University. Will be in Indiana the 28th and 29th, the end of this month.
So end of April.
Into April.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one to go to. So if you're in that area, you need to get out there.
Yeah, I mean, you got 3 days of fence stuff afterwards. It's a separate ticket. You can go to Eventbrite, Mr. Fence Academy, check that out, or you can go to fenceworkers.org, click on events, and check out the one for the gate operator class, which is separate. And the one thing about the class is it's not going to be taught by instructor, or it's not going to be taught by salespeople. There's nothing wrong with that. And I like to say that I compliment that, not replace it. But at the end of the day, in general, most people want to learn from somebody that's actually doing it, as opposed to somebody that either has never done it or hasn't done it in this century. Not to be mean or anything to people that, we all got jobs. We all got to be salesmen for something. So I'm not picking on anybody, but a lot of people want to learn from the people that are actually doing it. I mean, in the first 15 minutes of my class, I mean, I could tell you how to be 10 times safer around gate operators than any safety class. Because in my opinion, as a technician, you're more likely to get hurt by a gate operator, which I have several times, than you are as an end user. So that's just.
You're likely to get bit by a dog.
Oh, did you get bit by a
dog before
getting
hurt? Yeah.
Going to a service call?
No.
Oh, well then what the fuck does that matter?
I was running sound for pink slips, and the trombone player brings his dogs every time, and I went and pet it, and he bit me.
God damn, man.
He didn't bite hard. It was just a little prick.
Little nip?
Little old dog.
You step on his toe?
Nah, I said, you want to go get a squirrel? He bit me.
Yeah. I had one dog bite me on a service call, and that was it. And guess what everybody said? I had to sue my employer, not sue the homeowner. And I was just like, so let me get this straight. I just got my jeans torn by some freaking dog. I might get who knows what diseases, rabies or whatever. And you're telling me I'm about to lose my job because the second that I sue my employer, I'm getting fired. So
yeah, of course.
I'm not doing that.
I'm like, clock me out. I didn't show up for work that day.
Yeah, I know. So anyways, I just let it go. I told the homeowner, I said, as long as I don't have to have any hospital bills, I really don't care. Cody put on, we're going to automate gate system design. The 23 and 24 kind of wish we would be going to that instead now. Oh, they're going to the gate. Yeah. Design. Yeah. It sucks, Cody. So first of all, I mean, it's all personal preference. I mean, you may need, what I have found that fencers don't need me to tell them how to design gates. I need the fencers to help me design the gates. And then once y'all figure out where the gate's going to go and getting it level and plumb and square and making it roll smooth, then I'm going to show you how to do the automation. So I've heard. Well, anyways, I don't want to get into that class. But
I want you to, Cody, come on the show after you take the class and let us give us your perspective of it. And what you like and what you don't like about it. What you learn, what you didn't learn about it. So share with us what you're experiencing. This is what this is about. Experiencing these classes that you're going to. You need to let us know what they're about. So come on here after that, and we'll send you some candy bars.
We'll send you something. We'll get you on the show. So what Cody is talking about is American Fence Associations. They've been one of the leaders in these classes for a long time. They have a system that's well built in place to do these classes. The thing that I have heard from these, and I only have a little bit of experience with them, is that the majority of people that are instructing these aren't installers, and I have heard that some of them are nobody is an installer. But having installed gate operators 20 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, in my opinion, is not the same as what's going to happen with me. Is I'm going to go install a gate operator next week, or I'm going to teach somebody how to install a gate operator next week based on the experience that I've had installing them for the last 20 years, hands-on in the field. So by no means is that suggesting that don't go to those classes. Obviously, if and I didn't ask Robert's permission, but obviously we're going to promote this stuff just like we are anything else. You need this stuff. If you guys are thinking that you're going to go to some class and not learn something, then it doesn't matter what class you go to.
Like I said,
you already going to squeeze lemons, and I don't want anybody that's going to squeeze lemons at my class, or anybody. I'm sure no other instructor does either. So if you want to hate on it, hate on it.
Well, my experience, I've never been to that classes, but Oscar has been to the class that he went to in Nashville when the AFA came to Nashville. And let me tell you, he knows what the loop's done. He knows what the photo eyes. He knew about some few things, and it was ingrained in his memory in his head where he studied and all that. So it does help.
I think it does too. And if you tell me that you're going to sit in front of Ron Miller for 3 or 4 hours from Door King, or sit in front of Tony Thornton for 2 or 3 hours and never hear him say or stop and say, oh, I got to think about that, or Mike Landino or Brian Dixon or something. If you're going to sit in front of one of those guys in their classes and you're going to tell me that you didn't learn anything, then the problem is with you, not with the instructor or the course material or anything like that. But we also have to recognize that that's not hands-on in the field training, which is not the only training. It's just not hands-on in the field training.
And now let's talk about hands-on training. I think that's going to be the next big thing.
It is, and I think creating a system around that is going to be difficult and challenging, but it's going to be rewarding to the people who get to do it. So I'm glad to be on the edge of that, talking to people about how to make more money installing these gate operators.
And so, and then the Defense University has a lot of different products in there, like Optech Photo Eyes. I saw the video Brian made on that. And then you have the Door King 1812 maybe, or maybe the other one's 1832 or something like that. Keypads.
We have we have the 2112, the 1837, a box full of tracker boards, their Wi-Fi module, their 6006, their 9150, made in America.
And then you still have automatic operators in there.
Yeah, we got 2 SL90s that we regularly train on with their, I'm not sure if they're the Red 2 photo eyes, but anyways, it's their photo eyes that they got on there. And
then you have a panel for hooking up a power device.
Yeah, we have 4 Altronics separate power supplies.
Yes, and power supplies.
These are all, you guys could take a free tour anytime to see if these classes are for you, to see if it's stuff that you want to learn. We're getting new products in every day. The more that people find that there's a really hands-on environment. I mean, you could just walk around the outside here and trip over a loop that we've cut. So it's going to be very rare that you're going to do a gate operator class where you don't have a loop that you're going to cut, or you're not going to mount a gate operator, or try to figure out how to do a pad or break a chain. That's all part.
This is hands-on training here, and you getting experience from Michael Brooks and Brian and all that, and whoever else will be there that day that you're at this class.
Yeah.
Or maybe you got a company, like you've had one company that sent 3 of their employees to y'all, and then to get some more get some hands-on training about service calls and stuff, and things like
I
that.
didn't
And you
know.
made a video, didn't you?
Yeah. We just recently did that video. You talk about the one that I just put out
Yeah.
this weekend. Yeah, that thing got like, for us is a lot. It got like 2,000 views in just a couple of hours. But yeah, so it's for us having a location, which you got to keep in mind that I'm sure he's never going to take credit for this. This is really out of Brian Frederickson's and the Finch University or in the FWA's pocket. I'm not trying to put his business out there, but without him having a successful fence business, there's no way that this stuff could happen, because
Yeah.
his generosity to the Finch University it's not like he's raking in millions. It's not like
Oh
he's
man, Brian's got it,
raking in
but he
hundreds.
owns Las Vegas, man. He owns the South Point Casino. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? He's got the golden nugget back there on the fence truck somewhere.
Well, he has a successful fence business, which is great. But you know what he's actually been doing for these guys and focusing on hands-on training is out of the frustration of other training that's going on. And again, this is me
Well,
speaking.
that's what pushed
So he
this
might have
and pushed us to where we're at today. Is Brian
it's
and a
true.
few others, and I will talk about Sean King, Defense Academy, Mr. Fence, and he's done a lot in the industry of bringing people together and hands-on training in the fencing world with no dig. Not
Yep.
just no dig, he does a little bit of all of it too. Dry pack and vinyl, wood, King Plus wood with no dig, and I-beam post for aluminum fencing.
Yeah,
And so,
he's got a patent on some of that stuff. The
yeah, the
installation
I-beam
process.
post, I believe they've got a patenting patent, whatever you want to call it, on that. And I believe you got to buy the licenses too to be able to purchase a certain amount of material or something like that.
I
But
love that.
anyways, it's hands-on training that Sean provides, and he's got Billy Grove that helps him, and a few other people that help him do that too, a part of the Fence Academy team. And they're going around the United States showing this new type of way of installing fence. And plus, there's a lot of kickback on it. A lot of people saying that ain't going to work and stuff, but it's working, and it's another way of doing it.
If you're going to tell me that a system that I train you on is going to work on every job in every environment, then you are not being realistic with what our job is. Every gate operator job, every gate, every opening, even if you on the same property, you have 5 20-foot openings, there's always going to be something that makes that particular opening different. They didn't pour the concrete at the right depth, so now your
Yeah.
anchors go all the way through the bottom. They didn't pour a pad at all, so now you got to put a stand on it. You put the stand on it. The GC says, no, you can't have stands on it. Then you got to take it off, pour a concrete pad. All that shit that goes on day to day with our world, it's not the garage door world where you just like call them up and say, hey, do you have a 20 by 10 foot panel? I need to put this in. It's not how it works.
Yeah.
So
what's the question right here?
Oh, it says the things that have changed in the last 10 years is a lot personally. We mostly just for getting all the regulations and requirements down and certified. Well, that's probably something that's above my pay grade. But I do regularly tell people that the training that they're getting in this how to install a gate operator class is how to make gates safer. But I am not the code guy, and I am not the law guy, and I am not the legislation guy. You got to leave that up to, if you will, I'm not trying to call them out for it, but the American Fence Association, they're a consumer advocacy group. They're the ones that can teach you all of that stuff, probably because they're behind most of that stuff. So those classes are already done so well. by other people, why would I ever be the safety guy? The guy that I'm going to be is the guy that shows you how to get the cart, the tools, the welder, the extension cord, the cones, the flyer in your window that has your phone number, all that stuff, create the job site that's safe, and then show you and your team how to work on it safer. That's the job that I've charged myself with. So, it is just one of those things that, hey, man, they've got that handled, and that ain't me. So anyways, let's see what this video looks like. Stop sharing. Let's see. Where's that? There it is.
There you go.
So these three gentlemen, they're out of Access Control Gate Company out of the Northeast. And it was very interesting dynamic that these guys brought to the actual class. It was a private class. And by the way, we do private classes. We do on-site classes. We do classes on the weekend at the Finch University, and so on. So there's not something that we can't fit in. If you need a class in 2 weeks because you got 4 gate operators to install, you can either hire us to come out there, or you can come to the university and we can show you some of the tips and tricks about gate installation. So these 3 guys that came for this class ran the whole gamut, from somebody that's just getting into the industry to somebody that could probably actually train me. And that was this gentleman right here who was beating me up. So let's listen to this real quick.
Yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Rasputin.
Rasputin, baby. So anyways, yeah, those guys, they had a good time. I mean, those private classes have been interesting that we're doing, because I've had a guy that said, I've never used a hammer drill before.
Yeah. That's what you run into. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to just learn how to do that, how to do wedge anchors, and how to do those tighten anchors and all that stuff. So, the things have changed in the last 10 years. In my opinion, there's a liberal movement that's going on with these certifications and legislations and stuff like that. So you guys have got to get your head on a swivel as far as how that affects you.
Yeah, that's in locations and just keeping up with everything. But it doesn't matter. Just keep up with everything. Whatever they law pass or whatever they try to do, you got to do it. But you just keep up for what you're doing. I mean, that's all I can say.
Yeah, there's a proactive component to it. I mean, people are trying to do the best that they can, even though you may not agree with it. And being proactive is in this environment is, coming out to a place where it's been a law and the legislation has UL and ASTM as a law, and you make up your own mind whether it works or whether it's effective or not, and whether it makes gates safer or less safer. So that's up for you to decide. And that's that.
Well, you know what? I'm about done for tonight.
Yeah, I was trying to get our phone number up there. I know we got our phone numbers up there. All right. You can always call us. We do private consulting as well too. Feel free to
call me. I'm bored to death. Just call me and say, hey, I got your number off the podcast, so we know that this stuff works. Call me, please. Right. I like to have 100 of y'all to call me tomorrow. I won't answer though, but just call me.
Yeah, call Robert. If you're up there in the Northeast or on the East Coast, he could tell you some of the things that he runs into that I don't necessarily run into here in Nevada, such as lightning strikes, which you're having to deal with regularly. So soil conditions, corrosive conditions, and so on. But either way, two different personalities. So you pick who you want to fucking bother that day, and we'll try to pick up.
Give me a call. I'll give you my unprofessional opinion.
Did you say that right? Your
unprofessional opinion.
It'll be worth exactly what you pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing.
All right, man. Break us off.
All right. Well, peace out, everybody. Hope you have a good night.
All right. Locking up.
Baby. Welcome to another good episode of Two Smooth Operators.
You keep playing the intro for the outro.
the
When are
only
we gonna get an outro?
podcast about gate operator life for technicians. Your host, Michael Brooks and Robert Evers. Stay tuned for another great episode.